So for 5.9, we're actually looking at number lines, okay? And this is going to be decimals on number lines. Okay, so you'll notice on your work you have 0 and then you have 0.01. 0.01. And because this 1, if you'll remember, is in the hundredths place, we say 1/100th. Okay, now if you think about this, you look at this number line going this way. All right, if this number line were to continue, do you think this is getting bigger or smaller? Give me a thumbs up if you think it's getting bigger. Give me a thumbs down if you think it's getting smaller. Hey, you would be correct if you gave me a thumbs up. This is getting bigger. It is getting bigger. Is this getting bigger by very much, do you think? No, it's not. It's getting bigger by quite a teeny tiny amount. Okay, just 1/100th of 1. So if you look at this decimal point, if the 0 is here and this is 1/100th, do you think the 1 is on the right side or on the left side? Okay, if you think it's on the right side, give me a thumbs up. If you think it's on the left side, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, if you gave me a thumbs up for the right side, you would be correct. Because the 0 is here and this is getting bigger going this way. Okay, so look right up here so that you can see. All right? And I looked at some of your homework and it looked like most of you got this correct. So we'd go to 200ths, 300ths. It just goes by 1/100th of 1. So we're getting bigger. If we're getting bigger, then my 1 is going to be way over here. How many of these marks do you think I'm going to have to get to my 1? How many of these little marks do you think I have to get to 1? How many times do you think that 1 is broken up into? Okay, I need you to look right up here to get this lesson. Raise your hand if you think you have an idea about that. Okay, I only have 2 people who have an idea. Raise your hand if you have an idea but you don't want to share it. Oh, good. More of you had ideas. I was worried. All right, put your hands down if you don't want to answer. All right, if you want to give it a try, please raise your hand. Yes. What do you think? How many? Give me a number.
8.
Okay. Any others? Yes? A number.
4.
Okay. Yes.
100.
100. Exactly. Okay. Because this is 100th, it means there are 100 of these little marks. I could draw these little marks. I would draw 100 of these. And then I would eventually get to the number 1. That's all the little spaces created before the number 1. It's really broken up, teeny, 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 tiny. We just stretched it out. Okay, it's like if I have a centimeter here, all right, one of these centimeters, and I stretch out this centimeter to go so long so you can see how it's broken up. It's like taking a magnifying glass to our numbers. Okay, you can kind of look at it that way. Now, we're going to take a look at this number line down here. Okay? Now I have a question for you. This is 0.7, okay, or 7/10. 7/10. Do you think 1 is going to be to the right side or to the left side? Please give me a thumbs up if you think it will be to the right. Please give me a thumbs up if you think it will be to the left. Okay, if you thought it would be to the right, you would be correct. Okay, you would be correct. Because you might have noticed 1.5 or 1 5/10 is over here, which means 1's got to come somewhere in here because, look, this is bigger than 0. It's bigger than 0 because it's 7/10. Okay? So, next, if we're just going to go a tenth, we would go 0 8/10, 0 9/10. Okay? Now, am I going to write 0 10/10? Am I going to write 0 10/10? What am I going to write here? Just tell me the number. I'm going to write 1. Okay? Because if you think about fractions, 10 tenths, 10 parts of 10 equals 1, doesn't it? It equals to 1 already. Okay, and then we'll do 1 and 1/10, 1 and 2/10, 1 and 3/10, and this should be 1 and 4/10. We draw another one, 1 and 5/10. Okay? So if I have a number line, let's say I'm using tenths, and I go from 0 to 1, how many marks do you think I'm going to have? 0 to 100 would have 100 marks. If 0 to 1, if I'm doing hundredths, would have 100 marks. How many marks do you think 0 to 1 would have if I'm doing tenths? Only 2 people know? 3 people know? How many of you have an idea but you don't want to share it? Okay, please put your hands down. Raise your hand if you'd like to share your idea. Yes. 10. You'd need 10 marks. So if we're doing hundredths, that equals 100 spaces, right? 100. And tenths, just like you said, is going to equal 10 spaces between that one. Okay? So that's the first piece of your homework on 5.9 when we talk about decimals on number lines. Any questions? Did you get it started off?